Good morning. Let's come to our mats. And like I said, we're going to start in a seated position, do a little breathing. And just a note about the breathing. We work with the breathing. Breath is in Sanskrit called prana, and the study of breathing is one of the limbs of yoga, according to the Yoga Sutras. And prana means life energy. So we work with this energy, the breath, to control. I believe it's the only bodily function that is both automatic as well as within our control to regulate. And by having control of it, not only do we benefit physically by working our lungs, keeping them strong and vital, providing oxygen, greater oxygen to the brain and the organs, but also creates that sense of peace and well-being and helps us to regulate our emotions. So it's a very powerful tool. As I've said many times, it's the first thing you do when you come into this world and the last. So it is the life that flows through you. So we do work with that. And I try to do different yoga or breathing exercises to give you some tools to use. Certainly hopefully you can take away and use in times of stress or even as just a part of your daily practice, or when you've had it and you just need to center yourself and come to your inner being. So let's close the eyes, hands relaxed and on our knees, sitting up nice and tall, nice posture. Coming to the breath through the nose, inhaling, feeling the coolness at the tip of the nose. And then exhaling through the nose, feeling the warmth as it leaves your body. Letting go of any thoughts, relax your shoulders and your jaw. Just letting the thoughts float by. Creating that blank slate in the mind. And if you'd like to set an intention for your class today, do so now. We're going to be doing a practice called Nadi Shodhana breathing. It is a circular breathing exercise. And I'll show you first, so you might want to look. I'm going to be using Vishnu Mudra, where the thumb is up and the 4 and the 5 fingers are up, pinky and 4, and 2 and 3 are down. And I'm going to first cover the nose, and always on the right. So I'm going to close my right nostril. I'm not mirroring you. And I'm going to inhale through the left. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I get to the top of the inhalation, I'm going to close the left nostril with my 4th and pinky finger, and then exhale through the other side. I'll do this close so you can see it as well if you're watching this on video. And then you'll inhale through the right nostril. And at the top of the inhalation, you'll close that nostril and exhale through the left. So you always change on the top of the inhalation or top of the exhale. Top of the inhalation, inhale through the left and switch and exhale out the right. So join me whenever you'd like. Inhale on the right. Top of the exhalation, change, and now exhale through the other side. Inhale. And exhale, switch. Inhale. And switch and exhale on the other side. Keep your elbow relaxed here and your shoulder. Inhale. Top of the inhalation switch and exhale out the right. Being careful not to yank or pull on the nose. We're just gently closing the nostrils. We inhale and switch. Continue at your own pace. Let's do a few of those. And wherever you are in the cycle, make your exhalation on the left nostril your last and return to normal breathing. And just take a moment to enjoy this sort of peaceful, euphoric feeling, maybe even a little buzzy, if you've done this for 3 to 5 minutes. And with your eyes still closed and your hands on your knees, let's just begin rocking from the hips, just gently forward and back, waking up the spine. This is actually a spinal chakra awakening series that we're going to go through here. We first start at the bottom, some rocking. And then when you're ready, we're going to just do some large rolls, seated, just feeling the hips rolling as making as big of a circle, keeping the hips on the floor as you can. Go one way. And then let's go the other way. Making sure you come back and make the circle large. Couple more. And then coming to center and bringing your hand onto your diaphragm, the solar plexus. We're just going to do some quick exhales through the nose and pumping action of the diaphragm. I'll turn to the side so you can see. And you can release from that, just awakening the solar plexus. Hands on your shoulders. And let's inhale to the right, exhale to the left, inhale right, exhale left. Through the nose, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come to center. Let's go the other way. Inhale to the other side, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And coming to center, shoulder rolls. So making big circles with the elbows in the air. And go the other way. And shake it out. Drop the head. Let's do some neck rolls. Inhale to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, other side. Check your shoulders. Check your jaw. Again, inhale. Really trying to feel each part of the circle of your neck, and exhale the other side. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Going the other way now. Inhale. Just observing How your neck feels today. Check those shoulders, space between your teeth, and keep your jaw loose. Again, inhale. Relax the face and exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Opening your eyes. Let's just give ourselves a little head massage, just awakening the head, pulling on the hair a little bit. Just sort of rubbing, maybe tapping the face, around the sinus cavities, around the eyes, on the neck, into the ears. I can't do the one pulling on your ears. Good. And bring the arms up. Keep finding a good connection of the hips with the floor, keeping that length in the spine, and bring the arms forward, pressing the hips into the floor as you simultaneously reach forward with the hands. Bring the hands to the floor, keeping that length, and find your stretch. Pressing down with the hips, reaching forward with the arms. And breathe, relax the jaw. Reaching forward as you find maybe a little loosening. And walk the hands back. Now, whichever foot is in front, switch your legs so that the other foot is in front. Find your sits bones, pulling the skin away from the hips. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, same thing, other side. Now bring the arms down to the floor. Fingertips maybe. Rooting in with the hips, stretching with the fingers. Finding that stretch. Maybe noticing a little difference one side from the other. Relax the jaw. But again, it's that reaching forward, making space in the spine, not hunching over or trying to touch your head to the floor. And breathe. And then walk the hands forward. Hands on your knees. Inhale, let's look up and flex the spine forward, opening the heart space. And exhale, rolling the spine out, feeling vertebrae by vertebrae as it curves outward. And then inhale, looking up. Again, feeling the whole spine flexing forward and back. And exhale, pressing back. Oh, I got something to pop back there. Do a couple more of these at your own speed. And then exhale, pressing it out. And coming back to center, and interlock your fingers. Let's just do a few quick rolls of the wrists. Shake it out. And let's come onto all fours. Again, if you need some padding for your knees, feel free. If you want to put a blanket, if your knees are a little cranky, feel free to do that. With our hands, now spread your fingers wide, and we're just going to do a little bit of wrist stretching on all fours. I have my fingers stretch wide, fingers pointing to the front, and I'm just gently rocking back and forth. You can also rock side to side, just noticing how your wrists feel, if they're sensitive. And then turning your hands so that they're facing outward toward the fingers are facing to the sides of the mat. Same thing, just some rocking back and forth. These are tiny movements, just getting a little bit more mobility here. And breathe. Nothing forced, don't go too far. Just go where you're getting a comfortable stretch. And then let's turn the hands, if you can, towards the back. Now, maybe they won't go the whole way to the back. Maybe they just sort of go in an angle, but play with this a little bit. And again, tiny movements, back and forth, side to side. And then finally, have the fingers pointing in towards each other as much as possible. Same thing. You can bend the elbows a bit, or if you would like a little stronger, you can keep the elbows straight. Again, side to side, back and forward. Find your stretch. And come up on your knees a little bit, shake them out. Can be intense, so be very careful. Coming back to all fours, we did bird dogs before. We're going to do some more. This is great for core, especially for the back. So we're going to reach with the right, kick the heel out with the left, trying to keep that hip level, not rolling to the side. Now bring in the knee and the elbow to touch. And then again, reach, kick, touch, trying to keep the back level as though you had a glass of water on your back and you didn't want to spill it. I don't know why you would have a glass of water on your back, but it's a good image. And let's do 4 or 5 of these. One more and touch. Very slowly. This is also working on our balance, and come back to center. Now we're going to do the other side. Reach with the left, kick with the right. Check that hip. Keep it level. Try not to let it roll to the side, and touch and reach for 3 and touch. Very slow. It's harder slow. And maybe one more. And come back to all fours. Take your left foot, kick your foot up so that your heel is facing towards the ceiling and your knee is about hip level. And we're just going to do some pulses very slowly. Again, keeping that hip. We don't want the hip to roll over like that. We want to keep the hip as level as possible and just do some gentle pulses. Donkey kicks up to the sky. Lift. Hip strength. And down. Let's do the other side. Knee up, hip level. Flex the foot. Donkey kick. Check that hip. Make sure it's not rolling. And breathe. And down. Now bring your brick. Grab your brick and put one knee on the brick. You're still on all fours, but the other knee, obviously, I'll do it this way so you can see. The other knee is obviously going to be off the floor, unless your legs are uneven. And we're going to just lift the hip and down. Lift the hip and down. Ooh. More, I'm getting more creaky cracks when I do this. Lift the hip and down. Lift the hip and down. Try to do maybe 10 of these. Hip strength. And breathe. And down. Switch to the other side. I'll flip around this way. Again, other knee now on the brick. Lift the hip. Oh, it's this one, I guess. On all fours. Inhale, lift and down. Lift and down. Lifting the hip and down. We're keeping the knees beside each other. Pulling up on that pelvic bone. When you get to 10, that's good. I think that's about 10. Okay, you can put your brick at your side. Let's come into child. In class 3, we talked about the various modification for child, spreading the knees, hands forward, head on the floor, or if you need, you can prop the forehead with a brick. You can use the various props for your hips if needed. Hands can be forward or they can be along your side or resting position, Balasana, and breathe. Noticing the rising of the back of the lungs. Releasing the hips, maybe wiggling the hips a little bit. Make sure you're not holding any tension. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our hips. Constantly need to check them. And the shoulders. And let's come up now onto all fours. Reach the arms up. Bring the hips up off the floor, and tuck your toes. And with the arms a little farther forward, but they're not under my shoulder, we're going to just reach back and come into what is called puppy, dropping the heart space, the head to the floor, finding a stretch again. You can use a brick here. And we're just relaxing the hips down towards the feet to find a stretch, a good shoulder opener. And breathe. And on your next inhalation, let's come up to all fours. Now, taking your right arm up to the sky, reaching up as high as you can, and then sliding, threading the back of the hand underneath the other arm. We're going to bring the head to the mat. My hips are off the floor. And I'm going to extend my upper arm above the my head. Or if you'd like, you can bring that arm over the back and hook your right hip. It's a bit of a twist here, just breathing and opening that upper shoulder, finding a gentle twist. And you can release the arms, come back up to all fours, and we'll do the other side. Again, lifting the arm up to the sky, and then taking that length, floating the back of the hand underneath the other arm, bringing the side of the face to the floor, either extending the arm forward or over the back of the body, whichever feels comfortable. Continuing to reach with that other arm, continuing to feel the opening of this shoulder, finding that twist. And when you're ready, you can release and come back to all fours. Crossing your right knee over the back of the left, and then bringing the hips down. Let's find a stretch, sort of another way of stretching out the lower back, sciatica, both knees on the floor. So if this isn't available to you, you can also just keep both knees beside each other, but crossing over gives you a little bit more of an intense stretch. It helps you get into this outer hip area. And breathe, check your jaw. And come back up to center. We'll do the other side. So now I'm going to cross my left knee over the back of my right one.
Begin to bring the hips down, find my stretch. Noticing one side is definitely tighter than the other. Breathe through it and use the breath to relax into any tightness you may feel in the hips. And come back up to center. Let's just do some hip circles, some swirls of the back, just to shake it out. And then come to center, tuck your toes, press through the hands, spread the fingers wide, lift up the knees, and let's come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Keeping the feet about hip width apart, hands are about shoulder width apart, fingers are spread. And let's walk our dogs, bend one knee and the other. And breathe. Pressing through the hands so that the hips are coming as high up to the sky as possible. Shaking your head yes and no. Making sure your neck is relaxed. Pressing the heels down towards the floor. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor. Some people are anatomically unable to do that. It's about getting the stretch along the whole length of the back of the body, from the hands, through the back, through the hips, through the back of the legs. And breathe. And feel free to move here, any wiggles or jiggles you'd like to take. And on your next inhalation, let's soften the knees. Walk the feet to the hands at the front of your mat. Coming into our Uttanasana, feel free to, if your hands don't touch the floor, feel free to bend the knees or use a brick to hold on to. And just hinging here from the hip, relax the head. Just gentle sway side to side, back to forward. Enjoying this inversion here, letting the spine just hang loose. And on your next inhalation, let's bring the hands to your hips. Engage your core, your Uddiyana Bandha. Press through the heels and hinge up to standing. Keeping that length in the spine. Now bringing the feet together so that the toes are touching. Big toes are touching. Lift and separate all the other toes and then place them back onto the mat. Having the outside of your feet so that they are parallel to the mat, and noticing that might create a little bit of space between the heels, that's fine. Finding that connection of the floor with the feet. And then using the breath, beginning to pull the arches up in the feet. Digging in with the toes, keeping that firm connection with the earth. Pulling that life-giving prana up through that energy, up through the body into the lower legs, engaging the kneecaps, pulling that energy up now into the thighs. Now pulling the energy up into the body, using the Mula Bandha, that root bandha, root lock, pulling up in the perineal area, bringing that energy now to the core, the Uddiyana Bandha, pulling in and back towards the spine. Continuing to breathe, feeling that energy now rush along the spine, up through the shoulder area, opening the heart space, pulling the shoulders back and away from the ears. Now engaging the Jalandhara Bandha, that's the chin lock that we gently pull in just a little bit. And find that
the four curves of the spine, that alignment that allows the prana to run up and down the spine, out through the top of the head, connecting earth to sky, sky to earth. Coming to our victorious breath, our Ujjayi breathing, kind of breathing through the nose, making that little raspy sound, almost like a little snore, or perhaps more poetically, like the sound of the ocean. Our victorious breath. If you have trouble with your balance, you can just soften the eyes. You can see a little bit. One more breath. And you can open your eyes. Now, grabbing a brick and placing it now between the feet, we are going to squeeze the block. I have it like in the shoebox shape there. I'm going to squeeze it with my ankles. Interlock the fingers in front of your body. Pull the fingers up, turn at the throat, and begin to press up to the sky. And as you do so, pull your legs up so that you're on your toes. Squeeze that brick. Find your drishti, your point of focus. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Engage your core as you begin to turn to the left. Keep the heels up. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, going the other way. Pulling, pulling, and squeezing. And back to center. Bring the arms down and bring the heels back down to the floor. Now, still squeezing the brick, but we're going to keep the heels on the floor this time. Interlock the fingers, turn at the throat, press the arms up. Now we're going to exhale and bend to your right side. Finding your stretch. Inhale, coming up. Now, other side. Exhale to the left. And back to center. Bring the arms down, shake it out, and you can move the brick to the side. Actually, one more thing while we're at it. Let's take the brick, and I'll turn to the side. We're going to find a point of focus, and if you need to be close to the wall, feel free to do this. It's a little bit of a balance. Bring one leg up with the brick long ways on your thigh. Spread your toes wide, find your point of focus. Find a drishti, a point of focus for your eyes on the ground. Bring your elbow and press the brick between the elbow and the knee. Find your balance. If you need to use the wall, feel free to do so. If you're feeling comfortable with that, open to the side. Here, I'll do it this way. It's hard to talk and balance at the same time. And you can release. Let's do the other side. Again, root in now with the left foot. I'm mirroring you. Bring the right up. Place it between the knee and the elbow. Find your point of focus. Squeeze and hold. And you can release. Now you can put the brick to the side. I'm going to just adjust this a little bit so you can see me. Coming to the top of your mat, standing with your feet about hip width apart. Inhale, bring the arms up, lower your seat, the hips below, coming into our chair Utkatasana. I can see my big toes, so my knees are not forward of my feet, and then squeezing my glutes, coming to standing. Again, down. Exhale down, press through the heels, engage the glutes, and come to standing. One more time, down. And come to standing. Now, taking a step back, actually, I'm going to reverse and do it the other way here. Sorry, so you can see me. Going to step forward. Excuse me, we're going at the front of our mat. We're going to bring the arms up, exhale, coming down into our forward fold. Soften the knees if you need to. Inhale, step back with the left foot. Exhale, step back with the right foot and come into our downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale for 2. And exhale. Inhale for 3. And exhale. Soften your knees. Walk your hands to the back of your mat, to the feet. Coming into a forward fold. Again, bend your knees if you need to keep the hands on the floor. Relax the head. Bring your hands up to your hips. Hinging from the hips and pressing through the heels. Hinge up to standing. Now, coming into our warrior poses. Warrior 1, we're going to take a big step forward with the right foot. We're going to put the foot towards the outside of the mat. Back leg is towards the other side of the mat and angled at about a 45-degree angle forward. So the feet are about hip width apart this way. And I've taken a long step forward. I'm going to continue to make that a little longer. I'm going to bend my knee, keeping my knee over my ankle. We don't want to lunge. We want it at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, bring the arms up and over the head, reaching for the sky, rooting in with these, with your pinky toes, with your big toes, and breathe. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Strong legs. Engage the legs. And breathe. One more breath here. Now, coming into Warrior 2, we bring the arms down so that they are level, one in the back, one in the front. I'm going to walk my front foot, my feet, actually, I'm going to adjust them both. My back foot is now at a 90-degree angle, and my front foot, the heel of my front foot is in line with the arch of my back foot. So they are in line like I'm standing on a tightrope. I'm looking over my front arm and coming into that 90-degree angle with the knee. This is Warrior 2. And breathe. Strong feet, really dig in with the feet. Strong leg work. Opening the chest. One more breath. Now cartwheel the hands down to either side of the foot. Bring that front foot back and come back into downward facing dog. And you can walk it out here, loosen up, breathe. Heel, hips to the sky. Let's do 3 breaths here. And on your next breath, let's walk the hands back to the feet, softening the knees, coming into your forward fold, Utkatasana. A moment here, relax the head. Inhale, bring the hands to your hips, press through the heels, engage your core, and hinge up to standing. We're going to do the other side. I'm going to switch here so you can see. Now we're going to step forward with the left foot, a nice big step, keeping the foot towards the outside of the mat. other foot is towards the the foot behind is also at the outer side of the mat and at an angle facing forward so that the hips are somewhat able to face forward in the mat. Inhale, bring the arms up, come into our 90-degree angle with the knee, press through the toes, strong legs. Make sure your legs are far enough apart that you're getting a good stretch and able to get the lunge, or not the lunge, but the 90-degree angle in the forward knee. Arms rise, engage the core, and breathe. Warrior one. Now bring the arms down so that they are now level and at shoulder level. Wiggle your feet so that the front foot is now in line with the arch of the back foot, and the back foot is at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, coming down into your warrior, keeping that knee over the ankle, looking forward over the front hand. You can check your arms, make sure they're both level. And breathe. Press through the toes. Strong leg work here. Last breath. And cartwheel the hands forward. This time we're going to bring the hands to the floor and bring that back leg up so that we're in our forward fold. Again, soften your knees as needed to stay in your forward fold. Release the head. And then engaging your core, pressing through the heels. Let's bring those arms up and come down into chair. Again, feet are about hip width, and my hips are behind my knees, looking up to the sky, and press up, squeezing the glutes. One more time down. Squeeze up through the heels. Now this time, come up on the toes, and let's come down on our toes. Slowly, a little harder. Staying on the toes, coming up, reach, 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 and come back down, hands to heart, namaste. Taking a moment, close your eyes and breathe. And you can release your hands. And let's come to the mat. And we're going to lay on our side, grab a brick. Okay. Laying on our side, on our forearm, spreading the fingers for support. Bring the knees together, feet together. We're just going to open the knees and close. Just some clamshells here. Open and close. Hip mobility. So a few of those, 5 or 10. Then we're going to keep the knees together and bring the arms up. We're going to lift the hips and down. Up, down. Up, and down. Do as many as you can. If this is hard, try to do 1 or 2. If it's easy, try to do 10. Try to get the hips up as high as you can. And then when you're done with that, come back down. Now this time we're going to bring the arm up, lift the hips and open the clam. Then bring the knees down and the hips down. Inhale, arm, hip, knee up, and then down. Again, this is progressive. So if you can't do the last one, work on the first 2 positions or wherever your body is. A few more of these. All right, now let's do the other side. Again, on your forearms, spread your fingers, knees and feet together. We're just going to do open and close. Open, feeling the movement in the hip here. Nice and slow. Noticing how open you can get that knee. And then using the arm, we're going to lift the hips and then down, keeping the knees together. Inhale, lift and down. Lift. And then finally, we're going to lift the arm, the hips, and open the knee and close. Open and lift. Open and lift. Open and lift. I think that's 4. Let's try one more. Open and lift. Now, staying on your side here, we're going to, we want the bottom, bring your bottom knee up and you can extend your top knee up. And we're going to roll around and put both forearms on the floor for a sort of modified pigeon pose here. Do the most you can. If it's too strong to bring both arms up, just come to the side. You're fine, trying to get a little bit of a twist in the lower back and breathe. Relax into it. Relax your legs. And you can come up. Now we'll do the other side. You can just roll over. I'm going to flip this way so you can see me. Again, lower knee forward, top knee is straight-ish. And then we're going to bring the arms to the back. Find that twist. Maybe bring the forearms down. Maybe you can't get your forearms down, maybe not both, but just work on it wherever you are, feeling that nice twist in the lumbar region, gentle Kapotasana pigeon. Close your eyes and breathe. One more breath. And let's come to our side now. So I'm bringing the arm back forward so that I'm leaning on my forearm. Now I'm going to switch my legs so that the top knee is forward and the bottom knee is sort of extended. And just gentle lifting of the foot, just some hip mobility here. So lifting the foot, the knee on the floor, lift, lift, again, lift. And do a few of those and play with that and how it feels. Then we're going to bring the knee up over and the foot so that the toe is pointing towards the sky. I'm using my hands here for a little bit of support. And I'm going to do knee forward, ankle back, and then ankle forward, knee back. Just moving that around. Notice how the hip moves. Just getting into that hip joint. Nice and slow. Very good for lower back or hip issues. Then coming up on one arm for support, we're going to touch that top leg forward and then bring the knee and touch it behind. So touch toe forward, knee behind, touch forward, knee behind. Try to do about 5, 10 of these as well. You can do as many as you'd like. Just noticing how this works with your body. Okay, let's do the other side. So now, again, bottom leg is extended, top knee is in front, and knee is on the floor. Using our hands for support, we're just going to lift that top foot. This is my left. It'll look like your right. Just lifting the foot off the floor. This isn't a big motion. And breathing. Now bringing that knee up so that the toes are pointing towards the sky. And we're going to do, and the knee and the ankle are on about the same level. Knee forward, ankle forward, knee forward, ankle forward. Just do some of those, noticing how that feels in the hip and lower back. This side is definitely more tight for me. I'm right-handed, so this is my left side. So that makes sense. And then coming up on one arm on our right arm here, and we're going to touch in the front with the top leg, and then touch the knee behind onto the floor. Foot in front, knee behind. Nice and slow. Just feeling how this feels. I'm feeling this definitely on the outside of my hip as well. Touch the toe, touch the knee. A few more. Toe, knee, toe, and knee. Okay, enough of that. Let's come onto a seated position. A little bit of ab work, Uddiyana Bandha. Sitting on your hip bones, clearing the skin away and bringing your knees together with your toes pointed and also touching. Coming into our boat pose, Navasana, hands at the heart and lifting the feet off the floor and holding, engaging the core. We're not slouching. We're engaging the core, keeping the length in the spine and not letting the back collapse. If this is hard for you, you can use your hands behind and just lift and hold. You can also, another good trick to engage the core is to put a brick there and squeeze that brick. It makes you use your core. Either way, if you can and you have your balance, keep the hands at the heart. Now we're going to turn to the right, kick with the left, come back together. Now turn to the left, kick with the right, come back together one more time. I am shaking. This should feel like you're really working the core. And then other side, back together. Bring your knees down, hug your knees. We're going to do another set. Again, it's very important that you don't let the back collapse and you keep the spine long here so that we're not, so we're using the core and not stressing the lower back. So again, in whatever position, either with the hands behind to support or the hands at the heart, lifting the feet. Exhale, let's go to the left this time with the hands, kick with the right, back to center. Turn to the right, kick with the left, back to center. One more. And hug your legs one more time. And let's lay down. You can do that, the abdominal prayer hands, not Navasana of the boat, 3, 4 sets if you'd like. If you're watching this on video, bring the knees up over the body and let's interlock our fingers, give ourselves a little massage on the small of our backs, making gentle rolls with the knees one way and the other. And then letting the knees fall forward. getting a nice stretch in the groin here. And breathe, relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Now, if you'd like, you can stay here and just bliss out on this nice stretch, which feels wonderful. If you'd like to go a little deeper, and it is available to you with your hands on the inside of the knees, we're going to run the hands down, grab the feet, open the knees, open the feet up so that the feet are over the knees and come into what is called happy baby pose. If this is not available to you, keep your hands here and stay in that position and work it from there. If you are here, but your head is raising up off the floor, put a brick or a blanket or something under the head. We don't want the head hanging in midair. And then just using the pressure of your hands on your feet to just get a gentle opening. You want to make sure the feet are over the knees as much as possible. And we're just applying a little gentle gravity-fueled weight with the weight of our arms. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, and breathe. Just feeling that opening, maybe feeling the opening, maybe a ½ inch more wide you can get with the knees. Maybe not, maybe you're just good where you are. Check your chin, make sure it's not jutting up. And if you feel like moving the feet around, you can certainly do that, doing a little roly-poly with the body. Just whatever feels good, whatever feels like it's getting things moving and loose. And when you're ready, bring your knees in, bring your feet down to the floor, hands to the floor, palms down. Let's just press through the toes, lift the hips up and give yourself a little hip shimmy. And down. One more time, lift the hip, shimmy. Loosen everything up and down. Final time, lift and shimmy. And extend the legs. And roll your hands up, palm up if you'd like. Coming into our Shavasana. If you're cold, you can throw a blanket over yourself. Some people like to get all cozy, comfy, and that's fine. And just checking the body now, checking your toes, making sure they're nice and loose, not holding any tension in your legs or your ankles. Wiggle his hips around a little bit. Make sure they're nice and loose. Letting the back settle into the floor, maybe if you feel a little sensitive there today. Shoulders feel heavy. Feel the ground rise up to support your body. Heavy and loose. Come to normal breathing. Coming back to the awareness of your body, your breath. Gently moving your toes and your fingers. Maybe roll the head from side to side very gently, keeping your eyes closed. And when you're ready, bring your knees up onto your feet and roll over to your right side. Stay there for a moment with your eyes closed. Pressing through the hands. Bring yourself up to a seated position and keep your eyes closed for just a moment. Hands to your heart, back to your intention if you set one in class. Feeling that energy permeating your being. Seeing it radiate out into the world and sending this love and this peace, this positive energy to the whole world, 20 trouble spots. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Have a lovely week. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
As usual, if you have any questions, any ideas, any thoughts, please feel free to send me a note. I'm always happy to hear from you. Have a lovely week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Robin.